Hi, welcome back to another video for this series. What we're going to do is today we're going to get into understanding PKI concepts, right? So we're going to install and configure Active Directory certificate services, all right? And just to get started, we're just going to install the Active Directory Enterprise for Certificate Service. And let's make sure I'm on a correct server. Yep, this is DCO1. And I'm just going to get into the server manager dashboard here and then add roles and features. There we go. All right, perfect. So now we're going to just hit next. And then let's see if we want it to be role-based here. All right, next. Default options. All right, perfect. Yeah, we want to check, make sure this is checked. Add features. All right, perfect. Now that we're back on the select server roles page, we're going to notice that the Active Directory Certificate Services checkbox is now selected. So that allows me to hit continue to our next step. So on the select features page now, we're going to keep our default settings. And I'm just going to read through the information about the Active Directory Certificate Services, which provides the certificate infrastructure to enable scenarios like secure wireless access, secure wireless networks, virtual private networks, internet protocol security, network access protection, encrypting file systems, and smart card logon. All right, so just going to hit next here. And then from the select role services page, just going to verify that the certificate authority checkbox is selected, and then also online responder. So yes, add feature. All right, and then I'm going to hit next, and then next again. Of course, just read through. All right, so let me make sure I have all of the role services checked here as well. So let's see. Yep, we're good. All right, and let's see, install. So now what's going to happen is the install is begin. It'll take a few moments, but just to get into a little bit of what's going on. it now is progressing the adding of the roles and the features from the wizard that's being displayed as far as the details of what's happening, right? So this is going to allow us to move to our next step or task of configuring the Active Directory certificate services. So when it's done installing as far as the Active Directory certificate, I'm going to set up some services with the appropriate settings, and this will enable services to perform its intended role, right? So let's make sure we're on a correct server. Let's see, maybe redirected here. Let's go back to here. All right, and then there should be a flag for us. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, perfect. So looks like it's not going to show up for us until this is mostly finished. So I'll just have to give it a second. All right, perfect. So the install has finally completed. So now we can configure the Active Directory certificate services here. All right, perfect. So now that we're on the credentials page, the system looks like it has detected that I'm signed in as the Practice Labs administrator. So that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to hit next here. Now in the role services, I'm going to make sure this is selected and all right, perfect. And then now I'm able to click on this. All right, and then next, and let's see if we want to keep it on. All right, yep, that's good. Then as far as the root, all right, next, and then, yep, perfect. All right, so now for the cryptography for CA dialog box, we're going to leave the default cryptographic settings and then next here. And then we're going to accept the default name for the ADCS configuration and then hit next. And then 5 years is fine. I think I'll be using this about 5 years. And then we're also going to accept the default path for the CA database. right? So then on the confirmation page, just going to read, well, typically it's good to read through the summary settings of the Active Directory certificate services that's about to be set up. But I'll just hit configure here, since this is a lab. And then, all right, perfect. So the configurations has been succeeded. So I'm going to close that out. And then now we'll see that the ADCS is now working. So just going to go back to tools and then certificate authority. And then expand this here. And this means, of course, the service has been successfully started. So I'm just going to, let's see, minimize certificate authority, server manager, minimize that as well. And I'm going to install the subordinate CA. So let's see, make sure I'm going to correct server. Perfect. All right, so just add roles and features here. And then next. Then let's see, yep, next. Destination server. All right, the directory, certificate. All right, and then add features. Perfect. All right. All right, pretty much the same thing as before. Last time we did this. All right, and then online responder and features next. Let's see if I'm gonna keep this. Yeah, this is fine. Just gonna hit install. All right, same process as prior, pretty much. Once the installation progress is completed, then I'll get started on configuring the subordinate CA or certification authority. I like acronyms. All right, just a moment. All right, perfect. So the install has officially completed. So now we can configure the subordinate CA. So now that we're going to set up the certificate service for the DMO1. All right, so now we just have to assume the role of a subordinate CA to DCO1, right? So let's see, let's go back here, pretty much again like we did before, right? And then credentials next. So we want to make sure that these are selected. Right. And enterprise, it's fine. Coordinate, of course. And create a new, yeah. And then I believe let's see, 2024. Perfect. But then we want to keep the default. It's automatically here. Set of request. There it is. All right, perfect. So now, now it's configuring. So I just got to wait while the subordinate CA is being configured. And then the server manager will report the certification authority and online responder are successfully configured, right? It just shows there. So now I'm just gonna hit the refresh here. And perfect, what's going on here? Just finishing up. All right, perfect, and everything is good down here. All right, perfect. So now, but we do see, even though everything is good here, we do see that the red indicators, the different sections of the console did disappear. And this confirms that there's no errors on the CA configuration on this server in particular. right? So now we can configure the certificate revocation list, right? So now we're going to configure the revocation list. So when a user certificate is revoked by an administrator, regardless of the reasons, or certificate server records that cancel to prevent a user from refusing a revoked certificate, in a large network, the revocation of the certificate must be replicated to other CA servers to prevent canceled certificates from being used to access network resources, right? So my first task is going to be request user certificates. So now that I've configured the CA servers, the next step is to ask for a certificate as an Active Directory user. So just going to follow a few steps to request for a user certificate, particularly in this case using Windows 8.1. So let's see. Let me do something really quick because I'm going to have to disable something for this lab. Oh, it's already disabled. Okay. All right, perfect. All right, perfect. So we're good to go. All right, so let's connect to Windows 10. All right, let me actually sign out here. Let me get everything back up and running. All right. All right. So the current user is now added. All right. Then okay. Now that they're added, let's expand this. Expand personal. And then on task. Request new certificate. Oh, crashed out on me again. Okay. All right. Just a second. Perfect. Okay. We're back up and running. All right. Next. Let's see. All right. Let's see. It should show some certificates. Let's close all of this. Okay. Let's see. It's not how you spell administrator. All right. Oh. Can't spell. Perfect. So pretty much, this is just updating the policy, just so I'm able to complete the steps that I was looking to complete to begin requesting the user certificates, right? So now that I've done that, we can start over again. I wanted to keep this in the video just so you can see the troubleshooting whenever we don't get what we desire. All right, so let's do this again. There we go. All right, okay. Perfect. There we go. That's what we like to see. All right. So now that we have this, let's see, let's make sure the user is selected, and then we're going to hit enroll. So it should give us some additional things here. Okay. So let's see, because it should have given me something else here. There it is. Okay, perfect. That's what I was looking for. All right, perfect. All right, so now that we finally got to our certificate property, on the CA tab here, we can find that the servers that can issue certificates to the user. So I'm just going to clear out practice labs, DCO1, and then I'm just going to leave the other one selected, right? Then, okay, now I can hit enroll, all right? Then finish, just okay. So then I'm going to expand personal, and then now that we see it's been issued to Jen Regas, right? So now I'm going to verify the issued certificate. So you want to remember that during the certificate enrollment, we configured the Windows 10, of course, computer to enroll to the DMO1 server. So now I'm going to verify the certificate that was issued to Jan. So I'm going to switch over to DMO1 and then tools, CA, right? And let's expand here, here. Then, okay, perfect. So we can see that we've officially verified that it has been, we can view the issue certificate to Jan on the details, right? So I'm just gonna right click on, let's see, this one here, then revoke, all right? Compromise, yes. All right, perfect. So while it disappears from the issue certificate folder, right, from here, I can now click on the revoke, and we can also see that here where it ultimately ended up, right? So so now we can see that Jan has revoked, and we can also see the issued certificate that she still has, right? So now we're going to publish the revoked certificates to other CA users, servers rather. So let's see here. So let's see, we're gonna do no. Then we're gonna do this one here. All right, so this tab is just displaying the publication interval for the new revocation list and the Delta revocation list, which is the recent updates of the revoked certificates, right? So I'm just going to click on this one, which also just this displays the status of the CRL, the certification revocation list, right? So just going to let's see. All right, perfect. So I'm just going to keep this open so I could get started for configuring a new path for the CRLs. So, yeah, I'm going to write server. All right, and then properties, and then the extension. All right, perfect. And then the location, we want then let's see. All right, let's continue. Okay, perfect. Okay here. All right, so now I'm going to, now that I have that complete, I'm going to configure the certificate managers, right? So let's see, we're on a correct server. So to configure this, the managers, let's see, let me actually go back here. um, there it is. All right, let's see, restrict, okay. All right, perfect. Now, by selecting the option I just chose, I was just going a bit faster, just getting focused, trying to get to it. I'm restricting aspects of the AD Certificate Services Administration to domain admins and enterprise admin groups in this particular domain. So that is all for this video. Thank you again for watching. Just a brief recap of what we've completed here of our objectives. We've covered how to install and configure the enterprise root certificate authority and subordinate root certificate authority services on the network. We created we showed how to create a new path for the certificate revocation list and how to publish the CRLs for other servers, and how to designate a user to have a CA manager rights in the certification authority. Thank you so much again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.